You ready?
Tell me when I'm live.
You are live.
What's up, everybody? I'm here for my third grid year, which to me is pretty incredible. So congratulations to Lori and her team. My name is Misha Tenenbaum. I'm the CEO of a company called EditMentor. And I'm also, for a long time, was a professional editor. We create a lot of content for students just like you. And now I want to share a few reminders with you. First of all, this is the fourth grid. So actually, this is the fourth time I've been here. I just want to remind you that you have 21 workshops that you can participate in over today and tomorrow, and that you're going to get a link to access all of those workshops, along with a schedule for the workshops, which is posted at Creativity Matters. And I'd like for you guys to all follow Grid on Instagram. They are at the Grid Summit, and you can learn more about their events and other works. Additionally, you guys can turn on your cameras if you want. And I certainly welcome I don't know how much I'll look at your cameras during the presentation, but I'm definitely going to look at your chat questions and comments. So please make sure to give me those. Okay, with that said, how many people in the room are interested in being YouTubers? If you are, you can just add or content creators is really what I should say. When you watch content on YouTube, which we all do, what is it that makes you like one person's channel more than another? Why is it that every niche you search for has a million people vying for your attention, but some of them rise to the top? What is it about those videos that makes them rise to the top? That's the subject of today's talk. We are going to talk about YouTube videos. What makes them good versus not good? So let me start first by dispelling some myths about YouTube peoples. A lot of people have this impression that it's easy. Like all you have to do is turn on your camera and record yourself, and then people will show up. Or maybe you'll do something crazy or silly, and that should do the trick. Or maybe you'll stream yourself playing games, and that's something you're doing anyway. And so that should do the trick. But honestly, for the vast majority of creators, none of that is going to work. It will work for a few lucky people, but I would not bank on it. The second thing that is a myth is that YouTube videos don't have a story structure. This is one that comes from not only a misunderstanding from students and content creators, but also from sort of the old guard, the old generation of film and television creators who say YouTube is some nonsense that you can just do anything, right? YouTube is this free form genre where there are no rules and everything works. You don't need film school. You don't need teachers. You don't need to learn anything. You just need to point a camera at yourself and that's it. What YouTube really is a self-publishing platform. So it means that anyone can be a content creator. It certainly doesn't mean that your content is good. Being a self-publishing place for video is what made YouTube popular in the beginning. And that's why so many people sort of rushed to do it. But now there's a vast ocean of people publishing themselves. And if you want to stand out, you need to do it with an engaging story structure. The third myth about YouTube content creation is, okay, you do need a story structure and it's the same as film, only less complicated. And that is also not true. Or it's the same as broadcast, and that is also not true. And I'm sorry to disappoint a lot of the teachers listening to this presentation. Well, I say that while it's very helpful to have a background in film and broadcast knowledge, and that will significantly narrow the gap, it's not the only thing you need to learn. YouTube has a story structure of its own, and it has major differences with film. So now we're going to switch our screen to EditMentor to go through the next part of the presentation. So this is actually EditMentor. And for those of you keeping score at home, you can follow along in this presentation with this link. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Hopefully you can all see that. If not, Candace, please make sure everyone can see that. EditMentor is an interactive training software. And this lesson that I'm giving you, you can all sign up and take for free. It's going to be available for the next week. Okay. What we're going to now go through is the content of YouTuber This Guy Edits. His real name is Sven Pape. He has, as you can see, almost 500,000 followers on the This Guy Edit channel, which is not his only channel. Sven is also a content creator for This Guy Tesla, which is about Tesla solar roofs. And he has one about gardening and about chickens. Sven is a professional YouTuber. He earns his living on YouTube. And he made a video for us recently too. Sven's been doing this for a long time. And I'm just going to show you 2 videos that Sven made that were made, I think it was 5 years apart or 7 years apart. Okay. They're both on the same subject, which is really interesting. Okay. So it's on a topic called the Kuleshov effect. And I don't want to spoil what the Kuleshov effect is. I'm going to play you first the one he made more recently.
One of the most important concepts in editing is this. He looks, he sees, he thinks. 3 cuts that tell a thought where viewers derive more meaning from the interaction of the shots than from every single one in isolation. It's often referred to as the Kuleshov effect. But there's a person who disagrees with calling this effect just that. This is Coffee with Editors. All right, hi, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Editors. Today we have very special guests here, Dr. Karen Perlman. This is how you look like.
Okay, so that's the more recent version. And now let's watch the older version. This is what Sven made years and years ago. Same topic. By the way, write to me in the chat if you can't hear the audio.
Hello, welcome to This Guy Edits, where you can see this guy edit.
Scene 70 Charlie, take 1, soft sticks.
Today we're going to talk about the Kuleshov effect and see if it still works today.
Action.
As you might know from earlier episodes, I'm currently cutting a feature directed by Mark Webber. He just finished shooting it in Pennsylvania, and I'm now here in Los Angeles doing the first cut. If you've gone to film school or you're heavily interested in film, then you've probably heard about the Kuleshov effect. If you haven't, here's what it's about. Kuleshov was a pioneer Russian filmmaker of the early 20th century, and he came up with an experiment to prove that editing creates meaning. He shot an actor's close-up, pretty much a neutral expression, and then he cut it against different images and showed it to various test audiences. Experiment number 1, he filmed the actor, and then he cut to a bowl of soup, and he cut back to the actor. And supposedly, the audience interpreted the expression of the actor as hunger.
Whoa, right? Let's start with the last question, okay? Which of these videos would you rather watch? You can write that in the chat. Which of these videos would you rather watch? Obviously, it's the second one. And let's talk about why that is. So what about the first one got you interested? Actually, maybe first we should kind of define what makes a good video. Let's first define what makes a good video. There's 3 main components to it. The first one is a hook. So let's go back to my slideshow here. Okay. The first thing is the hook. So the hook is something used to grab the audience's attention. When you're making a YouTube video, there are so many distractions around the screen. You've got, here, let me show you some of these. Let me show you some of these distractions. Let's see. You've got all the videos on the right side of the screen. You've got advertisements. You've got people's thumbnails. You've got the cell phone in the person's hand. So you really need to grab the audience's attention in the first 10 seconds. The next thing you need to do is what's called setting the stakes. So there's a reason that the person is watching your video. They searched for something, or they looked for your channel, or they were interested in a topic or a subject, and they need to know what they're going to get out of it very early on. So what they're going to learn, what you're going to teach them, or what you're going to accomplish. Like, let's see if I can restore this old car. That needs to be something you say right up front. Let's see what I can find at the garage sale I'm going to. And the third thing they need is a story. So now that you've got them hooked, keep getting all these messages popping up, and I'm not sure how to stop them. Now that you've got them hooked, you need to take them through a journey. So the journey is between what you tell them is at stake until you reveal the answer. So like, can I fix that old car? And then throughout the story, you're going to be trying to answer that question. And at the very end, you're going to answer that question. All right. So let's answer that question about Sven's videos. So the first part is, how did this first video hook the audience? They used music. They were intriguing. They gave production value, meaning they made the video look expensive. And there was a great overall tone to the video. And I would say that this video did a really nice job hooking the audience. So I'm not going to say it didn't. Okay, what's at stake? What's the viewer going to gain by watching this video? Are they going to learn what everybody else thinks is the Kuleshov effect? No. Are they going to learn how to master the Kuleshov effect? No. They're going to understand why Dr. Perlman, an editing doctor, literally a person with a PhD in editing, thinks you shouldn't call it the Kuleshov effect. And what was it about this second video that made it not so good? It didn't have any music. It took a really long time to get started. The audio quality was actually pretty good. He had a good microphone, but the overall tone, if you listen to Sven's voice, he was a little bit humdrum about it. Now I'm going to submit my answers. You can view all your possible answers and you can see what you got right or wrong. And let's see what I got. Said I got something wrong. Oh, I selected the wrong video when I said, which one would you rather watch? I would definitely rather watch the first one. Okay, let's move on to the next challenge here. So now we're going to talk about just hooks. Okay, let's just talk about the hook. And the most important thing to know here is you've got like 15 seconds. I'm not joking when I say every second matters. I'm going to play you the opening to this Kuleshov effect video, and just right here on the spot, knowing that those first seconds matter, we're going to trim it up. So let's play the video.
Hello, welcome to This Guy Edits, where you can see this guy edit.
Scene 70 Charlie, take 1, soft sticks.
Today we're going to talk about the Kuleshov effect and see if it still works today.
Action.
As you might know from earlier episodes, I'm currently cutting a feature
Sorry about that.
directed by Mark Webber. He just finished shooting it in Pennsylvania, and I'm now here in Los Angeles doing the first cut. If you've gone to film school or you're heavily interested in film, then you've probably heard about the Kuleshov effect.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. And let's talk about, do we need to know?
Hello, welcome to This Guy Edits, where you can see this guy edits.
Does that sentence have anything to do with the value of the video, the stakes? I would argue it does not. So I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to ripple delete it. Now, what about this part?
Scene 70 Charlie, take 1, soft sticks.
Today we're going to talk about the Kuleshov effect and see if it still works today.
Yeah, that's about the Kuleshov effect. That's on target.
Action.
As you might know from earlier episodes, I'm currently cutting a feature directed by Mark Webber. He just finished shooting it in Pennsylvania, and I'm now here in Los Angeles doing the first cut.
Is that relevant? Is any of this information relevant to the Kuleshov effect? I would argue it is not. So we're going to take it out. And look at how much faster now, by 10 seconds into the video, the viewer understands what's at stake. They understand the stakes.
Scene 70 Charlie, take 1, soft sticks.
Today we're going to talk about the Kuleshov effect and see if it still works today. If you've gone to film school or you're heavily interested in film, then you've probably heard about the Kuleshov effect. If you haven't, here's what it's about.
You could even argue that you don't even need this first shot, and you could just start right there at the second one. So the point is, it's much, much better to just get right to the point in a YouTube video. Now, what we're missing here is we still don't have a great hook. So let's talk about what it is that makes a great hook. There's 4 different kinds. Okay, the 4 types of hooks are a teaser. This is where we preview what will be in the video without giving everything away. We say, oh my God, we're going to blow up this car. 3, 2, 1, up. And then we cut right before the car explodes. And now everyone wants to watch the video because we've teased the value that's coming later on in the video. The next thing is you describe a problem that the viewer has, and then you offer a solution within the video. So you would say something like, if you just can't, I am stuck with all this rust all over my pots and pans, and I don't know how to clean them until I found this one thing. So that would hook your audience, who hopefully have the same problem. And I'm sure many of you students are out there scrubbing pots and pans, know how tough it is to get grease off, and are very excited to find out how to get rid of it. The next thing is a personal story. Maybe the grease pan thing is just something I'm personally excited about. I love organizing stuff and cleaning stuff. I don't know when that happens. Maybe around 30, you start thinking about that. The next thing is a personal story. So you're going to tell a personally emotional story. It's similar to the problem, except that it's about you, and the audience is going to connect with you. And you're going to say something like, I really had a difficult time with my health, and it was tough for me because I just couldn't figure out a way to solve it. But then I did. And now I want to share that with you. So it's similar to the problem, except by telling it through your personal lens, you connect with the viewer. And then finally, you make it a big spectacle. You just, when we showed Leonardo DiCaprio on the screen a minute ago and had huge dramatic music flying in, you felt like, okay, I'm watching professionally produced amazing content. You might not have thought that to yourself, consciously, but subconsciously you sort of settled into, I'm watching professional work. And that's really important because that will actually keep the audience there. It's like not cute anymore to be unprofessional. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to talk about is dramatic questions, and let's move on. All right, I'm going to submit my answers. Got it right. Moving on. Okay, setting the stakes. So I'm going to give you an example of someone setting the stakes for something. What's the value of this video? Okay, and just imagine a person taking $10,000 in cash, putting it on a grill and lighting it on fire. This is in a YouTube video, and saying, this is what most people do with their money. And if you don't want to be like this person, watch this video. It's dramatic what I'm describing. It's probably a little ham, a little bit ridiculous, but it's really engaging. And when you're making a video, being overly dramatic is actually good. It's a storytelling technique. So let's watch these 3 clips. These are all clips from Sven's videos. And let's see what it is, what the stakes are within the video. What are you going to get from watching this video?
Have you ever thought, no big deal, any child can paint like this? What makes this so special? Pablo Picasso took an axe to conventional art and hacked it into pieces. He reinvented a medium that's been trotting along for 600 years and turned it upside down. In this video, I'm going to attempt to look at Picasso's work in a different way. What can we learn from him and apply to filmmaking?
So in this video, we're going to look at Picasso's work and see how it applies to filmmaking. So let's see, what is the viewer going to get out of this video? Are they going to learn how to paint like Picasso? Are they going to understand how to make money selling paintings? Or are they going to learn Picasso's style and philosophy and apply it to their filmmaking? Or are they going to discover the history of Picasso's life? No, they're going to learn how to apply his philosophy to film. All right, now let's watch the next one. This is an older video of Sven's, but he really got it right.
Hello, this is This Guy Edits, where you can watch this guy edit.
Scene A5, take Phantom 1. This is not completely what's on the slate, FYI.
Today I'm going to share my thoughts on how to become a film editor, or more specifically, on how to become what you love. So this topic also applies to directing, shooting, screenwriting, acting, anything that you think you have a passion for.
Sven did much, much better at the opening of the video. He didn't linger and talk about things that were irrelevant or talk about that he's re-editing a movie live or that thank you for watching the This Guy Edits channel. He really cut to the chase pretty quickly. And you can see that this whole video this whole section is only about 10 seconds until he gets to the value. So what's he giving you? What value are you going to get? You're going to maybe learn how to be a film editor. You know, you're watching a channel called, I mean, the video is literally called How to Become a Film Editor. So I would say you're going to get that. You're going to know how to get a job. Not really, you know, but you're going to find out how to become what you love within filmmaking. Yeah, that's really what we're going to do. And then Sven's not talking about watching him edit at all. So I would say that's the value you're going to get. Now let's take a look at this third video here. And what value do we get out of this guy?
So the other day I got an email that kind of upset me.
I just want to point out before we go on, you can see through the years as Sven is becoming a more professional YouTuber, look at how much nicer his background looks. His camera is much nicer. His microphone is much nicer. He's got these intentional lights in the background to create depth. He's put his logo on this screen in the background. That stuff's not an accident. I mean, just look at how it was here when he had a yellow background, his normal webcam, wasn't thinking about it at all.
So the other day I got an email that kind of upset me. Hey Sven, my name is Ali and I work with a design agency. Here's the kicker. Since you are a YouTuber, I imagine you must spend a lot of time editing videos. Video editing is mundane, cumbersome, and boring. How about if we take this task off your hands? We offer video editing services in as low as $2 a minute of final video output. So I was asking myself, should I really hire a guy who thinks that editing is mundane, cumbersome, and boring? Of course. Let's find out how he does.
That's going to be a fun video, right? So let's see, what are we going to get? What is the audience going to get out of watching that video? We're going to see who edits better, the $2 editor or Sven. I don't know, mate. I don't think Sven's going to actually compete with him directly, but that would be a cool video maybe all in itself. We are going to see what $2 editing looks like and know why Sven's upset. I don't think he's upset at all, really. So we're not going to watch the other guy edit live. We're just going to kind of see what his work looks like. All right, very cool. Let's move on to the next question here. So the next challenge here. So this is called asking dramatic questions. And let's just take a moment. Hopefully you can see me and talk about what a dramatic question is. So we have the stakes, which is what are you going to get out of watching this video? And then we have the payoff at the end where we answer the question. So the stakes might be, can I get this old Ferrari that I found in the garage to run? It hasn't run for 50 years, but it's a beautiful car. I just want to make it work. And the payoff is going to be, yes, I succeeded and it runs, or no, I couldn't fix it and it doesn't. And in between there, the path, that's the story that we're on. And we need to be asking questions to get us a little bit farther each time, a little farther each step. So the first question is, how do I get it out of the garage? The second question is, how do I remove the rust? Third question is, can I, what?
So they come from various form regions.
Looks like somebody's mic popped through there for a second. So that's what a dramatic question is.
Yeah.
A dramatic question is there's a link in the narrative chain between the stakes and the payoff. All right, let's go to C. Let's go see what some of the dramatic questions are in this $2 editor video. We're going to watch it. And then I'm going to play it in small view here. And as we get to the dramatic questions, I'm going to pause the video and add a marker.
To keep them happy laying egg machines. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.
This is a script that Sven is sending to the $2 editor.
Okay, that's the end of the script. I'll send this whole thing over to Ali, and then we'll wait. We'll see what happens.
Today's Tuesday. Sent off the material, and his response was, I'm gonna show you a cut on Monday. And so yesterday I was looking for it and nothing came. But now I actually realize, you can see yesterday he did send it on Monday. I just didn't see it because it was in the junk folder. I'm going to start downloading this file, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion of what I think of his work.
Okay, so I'm going to put a marker here, and let's go back to the beginning and listen again.
To keep them happy laying egg machines. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Okay, that's the end of the script. I'll send this whole thing over to Ali, and then we'll wait. We'll see what happens.
Okay, we'll see what happens. I really love that line. Okay, so I'm going to add a marker here. It might be a little off, but let's see. So anyway, Sven is making very deliberate sections in the video. The first thing is, what are we going to send him? Now he sent it to us. Let's review it together, right?
Today's Tuesday. Sent off the material, and his response was, I'm going to show you a cut on Monday. And so yesterday I was looking for it and nothing came. But now I actually realize, you can see yesterday he did send it on Monday. I just didn't see it because it was in the junk folder. I'm going to start downloading this file, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion of what I think of his work. I can't believe it only took him, I don't know, 2-3 days. But let's take it inside and let's take a look.
All right, let's import this and let's take a look at it. There it is. Hi there. In this video, I'm going to share 3 things you can do to increase the number of eggs you get from your chickens.
Nice.
If you have chickens, you probably encountered this problem. First, your chickens lay quite frequently, about 4 to 5 eggs per week. But soon they slow down, and even the young ones quickly settle for 2 to 3 eggs per week. Well, here's how I fix this. Number 1. Chicken feed is crucial for the egg laying productivity. I used to give my I use 1 part corn, 1 part oats, 1 part wheat, half a part of peas for protein, half a part.
What you're getting in this section is you're watching a professional editor with tons of awards watching the $2 editor's work. So this is actually the payoff to the video. This is what you came to see. And in the end, Sven is going to describe if that was, successful or not successful. So Sven took us on a journey where the first thing was we asked the question, what's going to happen? When we send this video? And then we actually received the video, and now we got excited about watching the video, and then we watched the video. There was a series of steps in the middle. Okay. Why is anyone watching your content? And I want to dispel this myth that there is only one type of YouTube video. Like when I said to you at the beginning, YouTube videos have a structure. I didn't mean universally every single YouTube video has the same structure. Actually, what it is the type of value that you're delivering to your audience has a certain format or a tendency towards a format that you should embrace. And it can be multiple parts. This is kind of a squishy thing. I don't want you to think that this is a 100% always exactly how it is. But let's just talk about the 5 types of content value that there are. So first of all, if what you put out in the world is just a stream of consciousness, just a mush of information, you may not be giving viewers what they thought they were getting. It's helpful for you to know what type of value you're giving them so that you can kind of guide your video towards that. So like, is your goal just to entertain your audience, which is fine. Tons of people watch videos just for entertainment value. That's probably the #1 reason why I watch YouTube videos. It's not so I can learn anything new. It's like, just entertain me. That's it. Might be a music video, something like that. Okay, inspiration is more like, maybe someday I want to be a professional bodybuilder. So what's a day in the life of a professional bodybuilder like? And in that case, the viewer wants to be inspired. And a lot of people make channels where everything is inspiring. The whole channel's content is inspiring. And I would argue Sven's channel does that a lot. It makes a lot of people want to become filmmakers or editors specifically, because that's what he's talking about a lot. The third thing that a YouTube video can do is educate someone. So when I want to learn something about Adobe Premiere, Avid, Final Cut Pro, I go to YouTube, and I do not care about it being entertaining, and I do not care about it being inspiring. I just want you to show me where the button is. And there's a whole format for doing that, for delivering that kind of value. The next is identity. And I bet you that a lot of you watch identity content without necessarily knowing it. Identity content means you want to discover a like-minded community, and you want to actually participate within that community. So for example, there's a chess player I love named Hikaru Nakamura. He has a YouTube channel where he streams for 8 hours a day, and you can join him, and you can kind of talk to him, especially in the chat, but you get to meet a group of people, like a group of friends. So if you're watching gaming videos, that's likely why you're watching it, or that's one reason why you're watching it, especially if you engage with it. And finally, we have the news. A lot of people just get their news and information from YouTube, weather, literally political news. A lot of people watch political shows. A lot of people watch tell me about my sport or my niche. There's tons of news. Okay, so now we're going to move on to this concept called a stimulation refresh. All right, actually, first let's watch some scenes from Sven, and let's talk about what the value is of this content that we're watching.
Hi, this guy edits, and I'm with Dr. Karen Perlman. I'm thrilled to present a new series for you that we like to call The Science of Editing. Karen, you are actually a doctor of editing. Is that a fair statement?
I can't really help you if you don't feel well. I can help if your film doesn't feel right.
Nice. Is there any scientific merit to the art of editing?
What I'm really interested in an underlying way, is how do editors think? So I'm reading a lot about cognitive science and philosophy and psychology, and I'm really fortunate to have some colleagues who are working in these areas who are happy to consult with me to see what we can understand about what really is an editor's expertise.
Okay, so there are 3 types of value that this video is providing. And let's think about them. Maybe let's start with an easy one. Like, is this the news? No, it's not the news, really. This is what's called evergreen content. You could watch it today, tomorrow, any day. And intrinsic in the word news is that it's new. So I would not say that this is news. Is it entertaining? I'm pretty entertained. I think it's pretty entertaining. I honestly am pretty inspired. And I'm probably going to learn something from watching this video. Identity, like, maybe. The video is not really asking for interaction. It's not saying to the audience, like, hey, chat with me in the stream. So I would not say that the audience is connecting with each other so much. So that's why I would say it's not really identity, but you could argue that it is. Okay, what value? Let's skip I'm just going to pick some random stuff because we already watched the $2 video and I'm conscious of time. Let's watch this video from Sven's solar YouTube channel.
Hi, this is Caesar calling from Tesla. We have a city inspection today at around 8 a.m. I actually need to head to your home now to get everything set up for the city inspection. It should be in the area with me next 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you.
The inspector actually didn't show up on that day, but eventually a few weeks later we did get the inspection approved, and with a little bit of back and forth we also got the utility company to finally commission the system, and it's been up and running since December 23rd. Now in this video I want to share with you the first few days of data that came in and how the system is holding up. All of this in this video.
So you can see there's similar branding here. This guy's Tesla. Sven became really passionate about this particular thing that he was doing for his house, which was putting a solar roof on it. And he documented the whole journey and he made a YouTube channel just for those videos. And he's been very successful because there's a lot of videos about Tesla cars, but not a lot of videos about Tesla roofs. And we're going to talk about that later on in this lesson. But the first thing is, what does this video provide? Like, think about who's watching it. So first of all, is it new? Is it news? Not really. It's kind of evergreen. Okay. Identity. Like maybe, right? Because if you're watching this, you're like thinking about getting a solar roof yourself. So maybe you are doing it to identify. But is it educational? Yes, absolutely, because we're going to learn about the data. Is it inspiring? I felt inspired. And is it entertaining? To me, it's entertaining. So let's see how we did. Okay, you can say I missed 1 point because I didn't do the middle challenge. But I think that when you think about this, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a moment so you can see me. Hopefully you see me. The more videos you make, and when you think to yourself, what's the value of the content I'm providing? Is it entertaining? Is it educational? Is it whatever of those 5 categories? You'll understand who you are as a content creator. Sven is always inspiring. Sven is always entertaining. And mostly Sven is doing it for people who have a similar identity or want to share an identity. So when he thinks about what videos does he want to make next, that's what he considers. Is this video inspiring? Is it entertaining? How can I make it so? And that's not something you can do, by the way, the first time out. It takes making a few videos to understand that. And so, okay, moving on. So we have this, we now know why a person might watch your video. We know what a narrative chain is, or at least we generally understand the story structure. Now we got to get people to actually stay and watch it the whole time. Okay. And this video, this opening video that we watched about the Kuleshov video, the Kuleshov effect being wrong, has a lot of what's called stimulation refreshes. So just what is a stimulation refresh? A stimulation refresh is a little spice within the video to tell your audience, hey, pay attention to me. That can be done through a jump cut, a sound effect. It can be done through a music change. You need something every once in a while. And once in a while is becoming shorter and shorter and shorter time span these days. It could be every few seconds. It could be, well, usually every few seconds. But then also, like, you've got to vary it up. You can't just go every few seconds throughout the whole video. It'll sort of become one pace. So it's like every few seconds, then not for a little bit, then every few seconds, then not for a little bit. You have to sort of find your rhythm, and that's done within the editing. And Sven, being such a good editor, I just want to show you and point out some of the places where Sven is adding these stimulation refreshes. So let's watch the beginning of this video again, and I'm going to mark 3 spots where it's like major stimulation refreshes. Pay attention to the sound, pay attention to the video.
One of the most important concepts in editing is this. He looks, he sees, he thinks. 3 cuts that tell us.
Okay, so we have this graphical element on screen. This is something new and different, so I'm going to mark that as a spot.
Thought, where viewers derive more meaning from the interaction of the shots than from every single one in isolation. It's often referred to as the Kuleshov effect.
Whoa, did you hear that music change? And not only did we have a music change, we went from this colorful modern footage to this old looking black and white footage.
It's the Kuleshov effect. There's a person who disagrees with calling this effect just that. This is Coffee with Editors.
And here we have another stimulation refresh where, again, the music changes. We go from black and white to color. We go from this sort of calm or this sort of dark Kuleshov effect vibe to a light, fun, entertaining conversation. It even has a joke, right? So think about the change in tone here. We go from...
This is Coffee.
Listen to how dark this is.
There's a person who disagrees with calling this effect just that.
Dun, 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 dun. Onto...
All right, hi, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Editors.
To this like calm place. Okay, the next thing we want to do, we kind of talked about this earlier, so I won't make this too long, but essentially one of the big mistakes that new content creators make is that they ask for likes, shares, they ask for a lot of comments, they ask for a lot of input, they introduce themselves, they waste a lot of time in the beginning of a video. This video is 1.5 minutes long. I'm going to play you the first 45 seconds or so, or maybe a minute, and we're going to see what information here is extra. Just so you know, this is a video made for a new YouTube channel called Backyard Boogie. This is actually a real channel Sven made. It was probably, I think it was his first channel. And he's introducing a cat that joined his family called Mungo Jerry. So that's what you're hearing.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out this video. My name is Sven and I do all kinds of videos for you. So please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also make sure to click the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Now let's get on with the show. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsor for this video, Super Cat Litter. They really are super and their cat litter is dope. I'll talk about them a bit more later in the video and make sure that you don't miss the discount code that's going to be valid for only a little bit. For now, let's just get into the video. Are you ready? Great, let's go. We have this cat, and before I tell you why we took on this cat, I really wanted to give you an overview of how our home is organized. We have 2 dogs, rabbits, we have a garden, that's really nice, and we have a garage in the back. But anyway, let's get back to what you're here for, which is the cat. So this cat, her name is Mango. So Mango Jerry is a 1-year-old rescue cat, which we are fostering right now. Supposedly, he has leukemia and cannot mingle with other cats. So my daughter convinced us to keep him for just a few weeks and make his life a little bit more interesting. Now, are we going to be a foster fail and eventually keep Mango forever? Watch this video where we get to know Mango and find out if he fits in with our 2 dogs, a really nice curtain, and many beloved AirPods. And at the end, you'll know what you should consider before adopting a cat. Are you ready? Let's go.
Woo! Okay, so the first question I have for the audience, and you can write this in the chat if you want, what is the value that the audience is going to get? What are they going, what's at stake? What are they going to learn from this video? They're going to learn about The cat's name is Mango Jerry. I thought it was Mango Jerry. So do we need to know about...
Hey, thank you so much for checking out this video. My name's Sven, and I do all kinds of videos for you.
So do we need to know about... My name is Sven. I do all kinds of videos for you. Probably not. So let's trim that off.
So please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also make sure to click the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos.
Okay. It's a little early to be asking for likes, comments, and subscribes because you haven't given the audience any value yet. So you really have to make sure that they're getting value before you ask for that stuff.
Now let's get on with the show. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsor for this video, Super Cat Litter.
Super Cat Litter. Do we need to thank the sponsor yet? No. Thank them after the audience is getting value. Remember, again, we have to get right to the point. We can't be spending a minute out of a 3-minute video on an introduction.
They really are super, and their cat litter is dope. I'll talk about them a bit more later in the video, and make sure that you don't miss the discount code that's going to be valid for only a little bit. For now,
oh my goodness, the discount code. Do we care about the discount code to Super Cat Litter? We probably didn't YouTube search discount code for Super Cat Litter before we found this video. We got to get right to the point.
Now, let's just get into the video. Are you ready? Great, let's go. We have this cat, and before I tell you why we took on this cat, I really wanted to give you an overview of how our home is organized. We have 2 dogs, rabbits, we have a garden, that's really nice, and we have a garage in the back. But anyway, let's...
Okay, so is it important that Sven has a garden and a garage? And no, none of that stuff is important to the cat at all. So let's trim all that stuff out.
Let's get back to what you're here for, which is the cat. So this...
Okay, so let's trim out all of that stuff. And let's see if we can start the video from here.
This cat, her name is Mango. So Mango Jerry is a 1-year-old rescue cat, which we are fostering right now.
Look at that. We got right to the point. And now the video is only 30 seconds long and we cut out all that nonsense. And just to give you an idea of how much nonsense we cut out, look at the length of this video, 1 minute, 38 seconds, and the first 53 seconds of it we can get rid of. And this is a common, perhaps the most common mistake that new YouTubers make, is having all this extra fluff. And the reason that happens is because in the beginning, what you're thinking is, what's in it for me? Not what's in it for you, what's in it for me. If you're thinking, I want you to like, subscribe, and comment, what you're saying to the viewer is, do something for me. And you haven't earned that yet. You need to earn that by providing them value. Okay, the next part here is, I think that a lot of video creators at first, they get a little bit lazy. So if you guys are making videos out there and you're not shooting any B-roll, you need to be, because ultimately what you're making is a video. And fundamental to video creation is showing shots that enhance, accurately represent, I should add, what you're talking about. So if you aren't doing that, you are wasting an opportunity within your content to be engaging with your viewer. And then you might as well be making a podcast. So let's just show a bit of host track here.
Now, are we going to be a foster fail and eventually keep Mango forever? Watch this video where we get to know Mango and find out if he fits in with our 2 dogs, a really nice curtain, and many beloved AirPods. And at the end,
by the way, he's saying AirPods, those are headphones.
And you'll know what you should consider before adopting a cat. Are you ready? Let's go.
All right, so let's see what B-roll Sven filmed for this. We have, let's see, we have some rabbits. Don't think we talk about rabbits, so I'm going to delete this. This is probably Mango right here.
And eventually keep Mango forever. Watch this video where we get to know Mango and find out if...
So let's see if we can put Mango here.
Where we get to know Mango and find out if he fits in with our 2 dogs, a really nice curtain, and many beloved AirPods.
All right, so let's see. 1 dog. I don't know what this hose has anything to do with. Let's get rid of that. 2 dogs. So 1 dog, 2 dogs. Which shot do you guys think we should use? We should use the one where he's talking about 2 dogs. There's a curtain, and I'm not so sure what this shot is. This is Sven's foot here, and these are some AirPods that Mango's been chewing on. So we
now, are we going to be a faster fail
in our cut? And now we want this shot 2 of the curtain. And now let's see how much more engaging Sven's video is than if we had just been looking at his face the whole time.
Now, are we going to be a faster fail and eventually keep Mango forever? Watch this video where we get to know Mango and find out if he fits in with our 2 dogs, a really nice curtain, and many beloved AirPods. And at the end, you'll know what you should consider before adopting a cat. Are you ready? Let's go.
Now remember, that video when we started was 1 minute and 38 seconds, and now it's just 19 seconds. We cut out all the fluff at the beginning and we added visuals. We made it a lot better. Getting close to running out of time here. I want to point out what something called natural sound or nat sound. I'm going to leave 5 minutes at the end for answering questions, by the way. So that's going to be in just a few minutes. So you can keep your, start thinking of your questions now if you'd like to. The next thing we're going to talk about is one spot where content creators kind of forget something that's simple, and that's the sound. You know, most of the work that you spend on sound isn't coming up with these loud and crazy sound effects. It's actually creating a soundscape, putting in sounds that sound natural so that the viewer doesn't feel like they're missing something subconsciously. So I'm just going to give you an idea of what I mean by that. This is a drone shot that Sven filmed of his neighborhood. And it's pretty beautiful. And here's the roof that we're going to be talking about. But there's no sound. And the reason there's no sound is because the drone doesn't film sound. And if it does, you can hear the sound of the helicopter blades. We're going to stick in a sound effect. Now, this is people talking. So probably not this sound effect. That sounds like a restaurant, maybe. Let's listen to this one. Okay, that's a train. So probably not the train. And this is the sound of a neighborhood. Let's stick this in and just see how that feels. It's amazing, you know, and what's so crazy about this is that's a sound effect. That's not the natural sound that came from the camera, but it's something you need to pay attention to because sound is half the video. You know, if you have spots in your video where the sound is missing, drops out, or there's, you know, the helicopter sounds of the drone, of the propellers, it's really a big turnoff to an audience, and it shows that you don't really understand production value. This is like more like a helicopter, and I'm just going to stick this in just so we can see the difference of what bad sound sounds like. I mean, how much less engaging is that for the video? So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete these two sounds. And let's see. Okay, great. By the way, you can layer sounds. So we could have also put those other sound effects underneath where we could add sounds of the grass blowing machine, maybe some cars driving around. We could add, you can really, creating a soundscape can be more than just one sound effect. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is we're not even going to do this as a challenge. We're going to do it as a slide. It's the concept of a niche. So a niche is a specialty that you're going to be working within. If you're making a YouTube channel, it's probably about this thing or that thing. It might be a chess YouTube channel. It might be about Apple computers. It might be Tesla solar roofs or video editing or Game of Thrones or whatever it is. But what you should aim for is to look for what's called a blue ocean. So Sven talks about how a red ocean is a topic that a lot of people are already making content for and have been making content for a long time. So if you picked, for example, Apple computers, there have been people making YouTube shows for Apple for 25 years, and they might spend $500,000 on an episode, and they have millions of followers, and it's going to be really, 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 really hard for you to break into that niche. So our recommendation to you is you find a blue ocean, a niche where not a lot of people are talking about this specific topic. It could be a sub niche of Apple. It could be how the Reminders app works, or just your calendar works, or just how iPods work. You could be you get nichier and nichier, smaller and smaller. And that's how you start building your audience initially. And then eventually you can expand to the bigger ocean once you kind of have some followers. So that's our advice in terms of a niche. I just want to leave you with this thought, which is create a lot, because the reason that most people fail at making YouTube channels is that they think like, I'm going to make a couple videos. It's going to be quick and easy. And at the end of that, I'm going to have followers and subscribers. And the truth is, the videos that you make in the beginning, as you saw with Sven, they're going to be bad. And it's going to take a while for you to find your voice, find your value, and find the types of stakes that your audience engages with. And once you know what that is through trial and error, then you'll be able to make really engaging content for them. So that's my advice to you. And I just like to say, thanks, subscribe, like, and share. And, you can email me at Misha. And one more time, I'm going to add the YouTube link into the chat as you guys write in some questions, so that if you want to try this lesson at home or at school, you can do so for free. Okay, let's read some of your questions while I have just a couple of minutes. And I'm sorry that I went so long in my presentation, but there's a lot to get through. By the way, this course is 60 challenges. There's 6 lessons like that. We have a whole lesson just on building hooks. And that to me was the thing that I learned the most while we were building the course. So, okay, how do animated openings hold up on today's successful hooks? I remember them being very popular, and I still see them around big gaming channels. So you'll probably notice about animated openings that they're getting shorter and shorter. They used to be like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Now they're maybe 5 seconds. Maybe they're just a slide, but I don't think that they're really needed most of the time. Most of the time the purpose of them is to create branding. So that would be saying, I'm Misha and this is my channel. We're the EditMentor channel. And you can do that with a 2 or 3 second logo, just the same as you can with a 15-second logo. And you can do it with a burn-in in the upper right corner. Okay, next question, advice for those switching to different type of content you create on your channel. For example, transitioning from vlogs to becoming an animated channel. YouTube is amazing that you can do whatever you want. And if you don't have any followers, then change whatever you want, whenever you want. And if you have a lot of followers, ultimately the reason that a person follows you on YouTube is because they connect with you specifically, as opposed to a TV show or TV channel where, you know, it's actors on a high hill that they'll never meet. So if you switch, people will follow you. I do actually think that it's possible to switch niches or to stay broad. But ultimately, you have to make videos that you're passionate about. You have to be walking around all day in your world and have a little notebook next to you and go, oh, that'd be a cool idea for a video. Oh, this would be a cool idea for a video, because that's what it takes to make a video every week or every month. What it takes is thinking about it. And then the last question I'll probably take, because I'm already a minute over, is how did I get to where I am? I spent a lot of years working on TV shows. I think it's very important that you learn a skill, particularly a vocational skill. Like editing is a vocational skill. It's a hard skill. Someone who doesn't know how to do it will need to hire someone who does know how to do it. So I love editing for that, among other reasons. And then, yeah, if you want to start a company, there's a leap of faith you have to take in yourself too. And I just want to say that give yourself permission to change, because when I changed to becoming an entrepreneur, I had a successful career in film and television. I was working on really good shows, and I left it to be an entrepreneur because that's where my heart was. So I encourage you all to follow your heart. And with that, thank you. And